I remember going to the church. It was the Brentwood Pilgrim Church. We got there and we were met by Martha McDonough, the coordinator, and a gentleman by the name of Dick Clark, who passed in a few months later. Knew him long enough to know, good guy. But he made me and my children feel so comfortable. So did Martha. They made sure that I had everything I needed to take care of the kids, to take care of myself. And they were just, today I consider them a part of the extended family. You know, when we were staying at the friend or relatives and the friends' houses and at the motel rooms, you could tell yourself, and I did, this is just temporary, this is just transitional. This isn't going to be, you know, forever. I would not utter the words, I am homeless, at any point. And standing on that doorstep, reality hit. By sitting down and talking with the financial planner that had been coming in, Robin, we were able to start planning, you know, what we should be doing, how to make that work, and we filed for the tax returns. She helped us with that, got everything together, and then we kind of surprised Patty by going into the office one day and saying, oh, we got the tax returns, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. We had open CDs, things, you know, that we wouldn't have thought to do before, and said, okay, this is how much we've got, let's start paying the bills on the credit report. So we had applied for, you know, with Habitat for Humanity back in February, and I got a call, I want to say it was like maybe March or April. Patty had said that they wanted to interview us. So they came to the Hampton Church, Habitat for Humanity did, a couple of them, and sat down with us. And by this point, we were able to say, well, we paid this off. Well, we paid that off because when they had pulled the credit report and was looking at it, we hadn't started paying that stuff off yet. And we had all these receipts now and things were starting to be paid. And so we had that first interview, and then we got a phone call probably about a month later. They were coming down to do a second interview, and we were in Exeter at the Methodist Church there. And a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Dean showed up and to do the second interview. And he came out. We talked for a little while, and we figured it was still going to be several weeks before we'd hear anything. What we weren't quite aware of was they had pretty much already said, we're going to accept this family. We just need to do the second formal, you know, interview. And so the very next day, while I was sitting eating dinner at the Exeter Church, they snuck up behind us and informed us that we were accepted for the Habitat for Humanity home in Farmington. I remember, you know, the last time I had been to the house was when we were pretty much finishing things off, you know, some of the littler things that we could actually do and work with. And it was a work site, you know. And up until that point, it really didn't hit that it was going to be our home. And I remember the day that we moved in, it was the ice storm of 2008. We closed, there was no power, there was no, it was icy. We went to, Patty took us to Breaking New Grounds in Portsmouth for coffee. What an appropriate place, huh? We had coffee that morning, and then we came up to the house where it was dedicated. And I remember driving into Berry Court that day. And it was the first time that my younger son, and the first time in 2 years, that my kids had been at home. And I remember as I'm driving down the road, just the thought that, wow, finally, And it gave me a whole different perspective on the house, you know. I was finally taking my kids home. And it was a wonderful feeling. It was a wonderful feeling.